Hi everyone, my name's Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And today I'm going to share with you how to create this really cute little box. It uses a stamp set called, well, there's a couple of stamp sets used. We've got the little lobster, or you could use a little crab, and that's from C Street. It's a new stamp set, and it's going to be my stamp of the month. I'm starting a new club next month called Stamp of the Month Club, and this will be one of the projects in the club. And then it also uses a sentiment from the stamp set called Num Num Num. And so, just cute. It's a little hamburger box, and when you open it up, there's room for, you know, maybe a little container of fishies or a gift certificate rolled up. I was thinking of putting a Red Lobster gift certificate in here for my dad. He loves going there, and his birthday's coming up in a couple of days. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll teach you how to make this. The first thing that you're going to need is your Big Shot machine, and I kind of have this set up, but I've already run it through the Big Shot machine. This is the new hamburger box die. You can see you need the extra long cutting plates. And you'll also need a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, which is cut at 5.5 by 10. And then there are a couple of tags, but we're not going to use those for this particular project. So I don't have paper on the tag portion, just where the hamburger box is. And then when you take that off, you can see that I've already run it through the Big Shot machine, and this is my hamburger box right here in its template form. Now all we have to do is put that together. So I've made some information steps for you. The first thing that I would do if I were you is to cut out the template with the hamburger box die and the Big Shot machine, which I've already done. The second thing is to cut slits to the box where the white lines are, and that you want to enlarge your closure slits with a paper piercer. So the white lines are right here, and you will see in a second what I'm going to do with those. And then here is the closure part. So I just turn the box around, and using a paper piercer, I'll be showing you how to do this in a second anyway, but I just flip it around and I just insert the paper piercer into these holes, and that way there's a place for your slit to go to when it needs to close. And so that is the first step, and I have my box here and we can go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to insert my paper piercer and enlarge those closure holes. And now when we close our box, we'll be able to close it perfectly. These slits right here that I was telling you about, those need to be cut to the line. Now, let me show you what happened when I tried to put the box together the way Stampin' Up! Suggested. And they suggested to use something like this, where you just fold the slits, but I was having problems in that my glue, whether I was using glue dots or whatever, and even when I did cut the slits, I was having problems with the box staying together. And also it just didn't seem like enough area for me to glue. And so I decided to do it this way. So we are just going to cut up those slits, and don't worry, I've done some of this in advance, but I just want to show you where you make these slit cuts, because this is kind of important, and it'll make more sense as we start folding. So now what we want to do is fold, and it's really important that you use a bone folder and fold all of your lines very, very, oops, we've got a slit that I forgot to cut right here. You want to fold those lines very, very crisply, which is why we are going to use a bone folder on every single fold on this hamburger box die. Now this is what it looks like, and you can see exactly where these lines are cut. And so these flaps right here and these flaps right here are loose. I cut those apart and away from the hamburger box. Now, let me show you what step 3 and 4 is. So now you will fold all your score lines except for where the X's are. So you see there are some there are some little fold lines in where we've cut this slit, but we're not going to fold those. And so basically, after you've done that, and you need to use your bone folder to get a really good crease, then you fold back and front in this very middle line to get a super crisp fold. And I'll show you what that looks like. See, you're going to fold that middle fold because that's your hinge fold where your lid comes, so that you need to fold really crisply back and forth. I just found that the box goes together a lot easier if that fold is a real good hinge fold. So step 5 now is to use multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere the box and then hold it in place just a few seconds before moving on to the next area. And then you basically glue the X marks across from each other at the same time. So for example, I would glue these two at the same time and hold it. And then I would go to my next X, my next section here, and glue and hold. And continue to do that in all 4 sections as you go along. And I am actually going to glue and show you how to do that. And so I just want to go over that information with you. Now here is my box. I don't have it all marked up because this is the one that I'm going to show you how to do. So you see where I've cut the slits, and you can see that I've given it all good crisp folds with my bone folder. And I've also double folded this hinge flap so that it folds easily both ways. And now we're going to just go ahead, and I've also enlarged my slits. And it's helpful to know too where the top of the box is and where the bottom of the box is. The bottom of the box is actually where these pokey pieces are. That's where your lid is going to fold over. And the top of the box is where the holes are that you're enlarging in order to go through the pokey things at the bottom of the box. Oh my gosh, does that make any sense? I don't know. I'll probably listen to this and just delete the whole thing, but we'll just keep on here. Keep on keeping on. And let's see, where's my glue? Right here. I have my multi-purpose liquid glue. And I'm going to, like I said, start at one end and work my way to the other end. So I don't think it really matters which area or which end you start, just that you're doing your folds up from one end to the other. So as you can see, I've put glue onto these folds right here. This is the bottom of my box, and then I just fold this up. And it just works really well because now I can hold them at the same time. And with glue I have a little bit of wiggle room, so I can wiggle this so that's exactly even, so I get nice edges. And just like that, this is secure and ready to go. We're ready to go to the next step. Gluing is very quick. Now we're going to glue these next set of flaps. I'm going to get this one over here to glue. Now, like I said, I think Stampin' Up! Uses glue dots, and honestly, I just wasn't having any luck with that, so I decided to go with the glue. So now again, I did both of these at the same time, and I'm just going to hold this in place. So now we have the bottom of our box done. And you can see how cute that is already. Now we're going to continue on with the lid here. So I've got my next set of flaps, and I've got my glue on them, and we are just going to keep on going. And again, I can kind of fold it around, and with glue I have that little bit of wiggle room so I can make sure everything is lined up perfectly. And now the last set of flaps. And the reason I'm showing you step by step how to glue this is because it really probably is the trickiest part of putting this box together. Next to getting nice crisp folds, you definitely want to have nice crisp folds. But I figure everybody knows how to do that pretty much with their bone folder, but not everyone is familiar with gluing. Alright, so now I'm holding that last set of flaps in. And we're done. Our box is complete. So again, this is the bottom of the box and this is the lid. So to put it together, you just push that lid down and it should connect in with these, there we go, with the bottom of the box. And your box is now secure. Oh, I hope I had some of that in the video. I just realized I was paying so much attention to the box that I wasn't really paying attention to what I was videotaping. So anyway, we have our little box complete. Let me show you the box again. And we're going to continue on now. And actually, maybe I'll change my battery and then we'll continue on because I see it's getting low. But we're going to do our next step, which is to decorate our box. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're ready to decorate our box, and you can see that we used a new pack of designer series paper called Maritime, and it looks like this, and I really, really like it. At first I thought, oh, well, you know, living in Minnesota, I'm not exactly too close to oceans. However, I do go to Red Lobster fairly often, and I think that counts. So we'll just go with that. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the sizes that you need to cut. This is the anchor piece, and it's got some, I think it's like a map on the other side, and then a bunch of anchors, and I don't know, there's those little steering wheels. I'm not sure what they're called, but I know they use them on boats to steer the boat. This is 2 1/4 by 2 1/2, and that is going to be glued onto the lid of our box. So I can just go ahead, put a line of glue around here, bring the box back into the picture, and we're just going to glue that right onto the top of our box, and it will fit quite nicely. Then the next thing that we are going to do is, I think we need to do some stamping. So I have a piece of Whisper White scrap, and I have my Enjoy stamp. It's inked up in Night of Navy, so I'm just going to stamp that like that. And then the next stamp that I'm inking up is my little crab. I made a lobster the first time I did this box, and now I'm going to make a little crab. So there he is. And to get the crab out of the scrap paper, we're just going to use a 3/4 inch circle punch. Punch him right out. And then to get the Enjoy out of the scrap paper, we're actually going to use a scissors and hand cut it. Now I did do this in advance to save a little bit of time. So that is what it looks like. And just to decorate up, I just I punched a hole in here, and I added a little bit of red 1/8 inch taffeta ribbon, tied it in a knot, and we're going to center that onto the front of our box, so we can go ahead and do that right now. And I'm going to use glue, just a little bit. Now I know this is Whisper White, and there's probably a couple of you going, but you never use glue on Whisper White. Well, typically I don't. Today's a special occasion. I am, because I didn't use that much of it, and we're putting it on a box. It's a little different. Alright, so here it is. I think if we used the snail, it might come off because there's so much back and forth with opening this lid. And I don't want this to come off. I want it to stay quite secure as people go in and out of this box. Okay, now the next step is to take a scrap of this designer series paper. You can see it's got the anchors on, and we are going to use a 1 3/4 inch circle punch and punch a circle out of it. Then we're going to go in with our 2 3/8 inch circle punch, and this is a scallop circle punch, and so we're just gonna see how we're kind of making sure that's even all the way around. Punch that out. And you can see now we have another feature to our box. But we need to do the shaker part, so let's go ahead and do that. We will be using some shaker frames that Stampin' Up! Sells, and I have one cut out. It's a little circle thing kind of like dimensionals, except they're cut into circles. We're just going to pull off the outermost ring, and we're going to set that in the center of our box lid. Press that down, and then I'm going to go in and take, well actually, yes, before I put the glitter in there, I'm just going to take this off, because if I struggle taking that off, then I bounce the glitter around, and then we have glitter sticking onto our adhesive, and we don't want that. So now I'm going to take this little tiny spoon. I have no idea where I got this. I think it was on an airplane. Oh no, maybe it was a tester at a sherbet shop or something. So I'm going to put a little glitter right in the center. Oh, and I'm going to make a spot because I want my little, I forgot to put my crab in there. And I want my little crab in there. So I'm putting a dimensional on my crab. You can see that little punch out. I'm just going to set him like this. There, now he's in there. And now I'm going to put the top onto my glitter so I don't splatter that all over. Set some of this other stuff out of the way. And the next step is you want to take your circle collection framelits, and using circle number 5, you can see that I've labeled them from 1 through 9. If you use number 5 and use a window sheet and cut out a circle window sheet, then you can go ahead and set that directly over, kind of center it as much as you can. Put that right over the top of your glitter and your little punch out, and you have your shaker part done. Now we want to hide this adhesive here, so that's where we come back in with our little scallop outline punch out that we did, and I've just put some glue dots, I don't know, about 4 or 5 of them on here, and then I'm going to set this right over the top of the window sheet and center it in so that it doesn't show the that circular adhesive shaker frame, and then I can just push that down and we have a completed box. Isn't it cute? I just love it. So hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Here they both are. And have a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by Stampin' to Share. I truly appreciate you. Bye-bye.